fellow gamers. And Pluton, je m'appelle Bradley. Welcome me to
wheeeeee.
The Dogs Are Raw.
Did you look that up?
No.
Oh, okay.
I did take French in high school, so I know un petit, which is probably the wrong conjugation because I sucked. My name is Brad, and welcome to Raw Dogs.
Je m'appelle Dylan.
Je m'appelle.
Oh, God.
Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle Dylan.
Stoy. I'm Stoy. Stoy. That is not a very French name at all.
So no, it's not.
I don't think there is a French equivalent. Usually there should be like an equivalent to your name, like Dillon.
Dillon.
You know, Bradley. I don't know if that's a French name, but...
I went by Francois in high school.
Francois? Okay.
Francois in French class?
No.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Right.
Yes, today we're talking about Expedition 33, Clair, Obscur. I still don't know. I call it one or the other half the time.
I think you can just call it whatever the fuck you want.
I think it's mostly Expedition 33 people refer to it as.
I feel like Clair Obscur is like the Final Fantasy, and then that's like the colon, and then Expedition 33 is the actual title of the game.
I don't know either.
If they make this like a series and they kind of go into different like worlds, that would be my dream.
Has there ever been such a confident, groundbreaking first entry from a studio?
I don't really know.
I don't really know.
It's hard to speak on that, but this is a juggernaut.
I feel like, especially because these people are ostensibly indie. Welcome to Indie Games Month.
Yes.
Glad to be here.
And some people will say, is this indie?
This is indie.
Yeah.
I would describe this as indie. Usually you have a few stinkers before the real hit comes out. I mean, even look at, Bastion was a pretty big hit if we're talking like Supergiant.
Yeah.
I like an independent indie games as Kepler Interactive is the publisher for Sandfall. And granted, they're not an EA. They're not an Ubisoft. They're not a Microsoft or Sony or whatever, a big name publisher where they just throw unlimited money at them.
Yeah.
To me, I imagine Kepler's a smaller publisher. You know, they don't have any big, I would say arguably this is probably their first big, huge, profit title that they've had.
Yeah.
So to me, I always think indie games are like, self-funded, maybe a bunch of guys or girls working on a game, independently by themselves without a publisher or anything like that. That's how I sometimes think it. But you could say this is independent because these guys and girls broke out.
They broke away
from the big AAA studios to kind of do their own thing. And props to that, because breaking out in independent video game development is scary.
Job security versus putting it all on the line.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of European countries, I don't know if this is true for France, they get funding from the government.
Yes.
For projects. That helps. I wish America could do something decent.
Well, President Macron actually praised this game like a couple weeks after it came out. They were like, yeah, we're really proud to have supported this game and stuff.
Wisely so, because this is one of the greatest French exports in a long time. At least like media exports, there's always French cinema, and I don't see a ton of French TV shows. I watched Lupin. Lupin was a good show. I watched 2 seasons of that.
Okay, yeah.
But this is a very big video game that took the industry by storm this year.
It was kind of out of the gate. People were just talking about it. I've never seen so many people talk about like one video game like that I wasn't even aware really of coming out, and it just showed up on my doorstep like, hey, I'm here, and I just got it.
We saw the trailer, and we'll probably get to that.
A long time ago.
But the trailer, I'm like, maybe. It looks like another turn-based RPG, and I don't want to... They're not a dime a dozen, because there's not a dozen of them these days. It's a rarer thing, but...
No, admittedly, not a lot of people are into... I mean, if you grew up in the age where every RPG was turn-based, you're kind of sick of it now.
Oh, I don't know about that. I like turn-based.
I do too, but I know the vast majority of people do not.
I think the problem was they weren't big hits for a while.
Yeah.
There were studios making some like Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon. There are some studios that were taking risks and making these like bigger budget turn-based RPGs that weren't hitting the numbers they wanted.
True.
And
that's why Final Fantasy changed practically. Like once after, I would say probably after 10.
Yeah.
Arguably
for the worst.
Yeah.
12. Calm down.
Okay.
And
12 has entered the chat.
And I like action RPG Final Fantasy as well. I like 7 Remake and 7 Rebirth a lot.
Yes.
I honestly put them.
It's a separate category.
I know, but I still think functionally that works as turn-based. In a lot of ways, you can actually make it turn-based if you want to.
But it isn't turn-based unless you make it turn-based.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to literally make it.
But the
Yeah,
option is there. Now, 16 is a real poopy doo-doo.
Poor 16.
Unfortunately.
Yes,
Before we get too far, let's talk about where the game came from. We have Guillaume Brochet, or Guillaume Broche. He was the creative director assistant for Might and Magic Heroes 7, the leading narrative on a mobile game, which I could understand your soul being eaten and destroyed.
Yep.
He was a project coordinator for Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Ooh,
Okay.
God, that was a game.
Guillaume was a employee of Ubisoft during the COVID-19 pandemic, had an idea based on one of his childhood favorites, the Final Fantasy series. I would say, namely, Final Fantasy X is the biggest inspiration here. Sent out requests for help to craft a demo to a group of other developers he knew as well as posting on Reddit. Just post on Reddit like, hey, is anyone interested in making a game?
I actually saw his posts. Like, it was like a highly ambitious, like, turn-based RPG, you know, and it's like, man, imagine that's how it all started.
Yeah. Once the demo was complete, Guillaume was able to secure funding from Kepler Interactive and left Ubisoft to form Sandfall Interactive with a core team of about 30 developers, including 12 developers from Ubisoft. Some of the voice actors for the demo gained more prominent roles in development, such as Jennifer Svedberg Yen, that became the game's lead writer after she was brought on as a voice actress. The composer, Lorien Testar, was discovered through posts on SoundCloud.
Yeah, right.
I just fucking
I love that.
Christ.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Just
And
like finding people.
One of the best soundtracks.
It goes
in
fucking
recent
hard.
It really
memory.
does. Yeah. Right when the first title screen, like, who just stared at the title screen and say, what? What?
The soundtrack is doing heavy lifting.
Yes.
Now,
I would agree.
Yeah.
But like any good like film, or even like think if Uematsu did not make the music for Final Fantasy, would those games have hit nearly as hard?
Final Fantasy VII, I think, arguably, if it was someone different, yeah, they wouldn't have hit as hard. I mean, Aerith's theme, Tifa's theme,
It could have hit differently.
it could have.
I don't know.
So we'll never know.
We'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know.
Yeah, because it's
But
like they're
to Dylan's
intrinsically
point-
linked.
To
Well,
Dylan's
I mean,
point,
if you play the Entertainer over Final Fantasy VII all the way through, I think it would do it a much disservice.
Well, I only play Final Fantasy games with the Creed band. Oh. I only listen to Creed on repeat. So I don't even know. What is Tifa's theme? Because I thought it was Arms Wide Open every time she was on
I
the
thought it
screen.
was Higher by Creed, but I could be mistaken.
Higher is Aerith's theme.
It's Aerith's theme? Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Oh,
All right.
wow. Okay.
Oh, that's funny. I get
It's
it.
really good.
Yeah.
I downloaded instrumental karaoke versions, though, because I don't want to be distracted by Stapp's beautiful voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The funding also helped bring in about 50 additional developers through outsourcing, as well as pay for professional voice actors, including some bigger names.
Can we, like, this has become a contentious topic recently, is the whole, like, everyone was praising them for being independent, completely independent. Like, you got this game made by 30 people.
Didn't-
and then this comes out.
Didn't the fucking Jeff Keighley say, like, made by only 30 developers?
Yeah, which that kind of hurt them, because now that it comes out that, oh my God, they outsourced, they can't do that. They're an independent game studio, and it's like every developer outsources.
Yeah, and to me, I'd almost like argue
it's
that like
Who cares?
indie
To me,
the spirit of indie to me is just like creative control,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
being able to make decisions without studio interference.
Yeah.
Like, I feel Death Stranding 2 has like some indie feel to it too, because it is
does.
so Kojima.
and
Yeah.
Sony would never say no to Kojima.
No.
Never say no. Yeah.
I don't think you can. Death Stranding was such a long burn hit that it garnered them a ton of money.
But we can't.
I know,
We'll
I
talk
know.
about Death Stranding 2 for the next
Right.
10 hours.
But we probably will go back to it at least 10 times
At
in
least.
this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but-
no, it's cool because, like I said, for me, outsourcing, I imagine, is part of the business, and it allowed them to focus on the things that were important, the things that mattered, and like you said, creative control. Because there's no way a AAA studio of any ilk would have greenlit this game.
And there's no sharp line between like, well, if it's got this much funding or this many people, does it not constitute as an indie game?
Yeah.
These arguments have been through the centuries, through the sands of time. But
Well, yeah, Keeley even said it because what was it, Dave the Diver or something like that?
Yeah.
Was like nominated for one of the best indie games last year or the year before, and a lot of people were kind of like Dave the Diver came from a $50 million budget publisher. That's not independent to me. And he's like, it was made by a small team of people.
What I think is super inspiring about this game is the rise of the AA game.
Yes.
I remember when, was it Sea of Thieves? Like, this is the first quadruple A game. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Not Sea of Thieves, Skull and Bones.
What I want is...
Sea of Thieves is actually good.
I want Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. I want games like Clair, Obscur. These smaller teams making what looks like high budget products. This is like super exciting because you can do more experimental, like more difficult cells because you have a smaller team, so you can you have a little more lateral movement to do weird things.
I think they can also be a little bit more of like trend makers, be a little bit more zeitgeisty. Maybe they can sniff out what people actually want rather than what they think people want.
Instead of
What the publishers tell them, this is what people want.
Yeah.
Instead of
They
a-
want live service.
This is what sold last year.
Instead of a room of 30 people saying this is what Focus tested, we tried to watch Ironheart last night. And
Oh my
it
God.
was
How
bad.
was it?
We watched the first 20 minutes and then the last 20 minutes of episode 6. And it was bad.
Okay.
But, it's one of those things because there's not like an artistic intent, and it's more like creativity through boardrooms than I'm inspired. I want to make something. The crew for this game: director, designer, and writer Guillaume Brochet, producer Francois Meurice. I'm going to butcher some of
That's
this.
fun.
Co-designer Michel Nora, programmer Tom Guermin, artist Nicolas Maxon Francombe, co-writer.
Beautiful
That guy-
concept work I've ever seen.
That guy needs to win. Oh God. If this doesn't win best art direction this year, at the very least.
I don't understand.
I have
don't
a
understand
hot take.
Oh,
I didn't love all of the world design. At some point, every single environment has that same like floaty particle effect look to it, and it all started looking way too samey. I don't know, because it's all very particle effect floaty stuff, and I think that is a way to maybe mask some of the. It's not like low. I mean, I think that they were trying to mask some of like the assets not being super up to snuff. Like, I don't know.
Well,
that's an interesting take. That's
But
an
the
interesting take.
There's a lot of
characters-
asset reusage in
Yeah.
this, but
The characters are amazing. The design
Yeah.
for the the
Right.
costumes and the world are great. I think just the actual end product, some of the environments, I'm like, they all look very samey. And what really carried the game for me was the combat. That's what was super addicting. The world design, I mean, I was into the characters, I was into all of that, but some of the environments, I'm like, it's again.
right. And they pad like any other developer.
You got to fill for time.
I never was annoyed by any of that anytime I saw it because I knew what I was in the game for.
Yeah.
And it was never like it never like took me out of the fiction of this world. I was never like so jutted that I, was just like, oh, that's bullshit. I never said that once.
No,
the entire game.
Neither did I, but I'm like, I wasn't there for the environment after a while.
I think from my experience, I just recently rebooted the game again and started. I think I'm like maybe 5 hours in on my second playthrough, and I think after you've beaten the game, you've understood kind of what the world is, which we'll get to later. I think a lot of the little pieces, the little art pieces in the world start to make sense because obviously the whole world of Lumiere and, the fractured world and everything like that has a theme. And I think I'm gaining a better appreciation for the world around me now that I'm like looking at it from maybe a different perspective, or like I understand what the world is now, instead of like, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. You know,
It's not even about
How are we underwater but not actually drowning?
I won't belabor.
I will not entertain that either.
No, and it's
But-
it's. I like the idea behind the world.
Yeah,
of course.
yeah, for sure. And it can be divisive because it's got its technical flaws and technical issues that, fine, they could reuse assets and stuff, but art is hard to,
I tend to see things
understand. That was the
as I move through it. I tend to see it as the whole package within that moment.
yeah,
And there are things I critique a lot, and I really dig in deep to a lot of this stuff. I'm like, is this working? What is this doing to me as a player? Mm-hmm. And as a whole package, even with the minorest little ticks, this game is just a 10 out of 10. At the end of the day, you can't like deny it. I know people when they started it, Brad, you were like, oh, it's good, like 8.5, 9 out of 10. And then like there was a point where that you hit like one of the main big points, and suddenly it was just like, oh, 10 out of 10.
It's crazy the word of mouth this picked up,
Yeah.
because I didn't pick
and
it
you
up
said
right
that in the
away.
Discord. You said that in Discord. I think you said it in specific where it was like, this is one of the only games I can remember in history where the Discord was just all full of positive vibes, all full of
buzzing.
positive talk. Yeah,
No one was like, not for me, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember it came out, and I think both of you had gotten to it before me, and
yeah. I had pre-ordered it. I was excited for this game from day one. The moment I saw the first trailer, I was like, this looks like a game right up my alley. Modern turn-based combat.
Yep.
Really good art style. When the trailer came out, when they announced an open world,
Yeah.
I geeked. I screamed.
Yeah.
I screamed because I haven't seen an open world concept in an RPG like that since the PS1, PS2 days.
Where a character roaming the field
Yes.
is bigger than you think.
Yeah.
it's so funny
And it's
how
representative.
It's so, I was like, I screamed. I was like, oh my God.
it's crazy how modern studios were just like, we can't do it in a modern console generation. It wouldn't work. And then this
I
studio
believe-
does exactly the same thing. It's like,
And
oh,
I
it's
believe that.
it's
I
a-
believe that. I was like, yeah, I guess that's a product of the old generations. I guess they can't do it anymore. And these guys do it flawlessly.
I don't understand what the excuse making is in that context.
I don't know.
I don't
think,
either.
I think that it would just they thought it would look silly and unrealistic having a giant cloud strife walking around above a little Midgar. But I think that people are able to understand what an open world is.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know, open world might not be the right term, like a world map.
World map, yeah, I
Yeah.
should say, yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's
the game really isn't open world, but
It's a lot
it
of
has
shiny
a world map.
It's
Yeah.
a lot of shiny hallways. There's a few
Yep.
different paths on some of these, but
Yeah, a little bit.
One of the
Anyway.
goals was to create a high-fidelity turn-based RPG, a genre he had felt had been neglected by AAA game developers.
Correctamundo.
Yes,
Inspired by Persona 5's use of its interface and use of camera work during battles, and also has cited Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon's use of QTEs. Dodge and parry mechanics influenced by Sekiro. This,
I didn't know that.
as somebody who has never enjoyed parrying just because it was always intimidating, and if a studio gives you a way around parrying, I usually can just do that.
Yeah.
This game, if you don't know how to dodge and parry, you can't beat it. No. You won't.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
No,
You got to
no.
slap it on story mode and just buckle up.
Right.
It's amazing how you go to a new environment and right away you see a new enemy and they fucking two-shot you and you're like, oh, this must have been on purpose that I die.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it. And then you quickly learn the enemy's attack patterns and it's punishing in the happiest, best way.
It's every place is kind of a new discovery. One of the things that I did love about this is, like in the old RPGs, where when you're starting out in the game, you see, oh, I'm fighting a wolf, and it's brown, and you kill the wolf, and then 20 hours later, oh, it's a purple wolf. There's not a ton of that in this game.
No, everybody's pretty
There is a fair amount of reused enemies.
I know, but it's
with
not
different colors. Like,
I know, but there's not as many as I've seen in even like bigger budget titles.
I think that it's just you don't notice as much because the battles are so fun that you're not sitting there like, oh, it's the purple wolf again. You're like, oh, it's big long blade dude again.
Yeah.
But there's a tweak, and the battles are so fun you don't even fucking care.
Oh, yeah.
And your characters are advancing, and you're learning things about like, oh, Minoko's my boy right now. I want to just go in there and play with this wheel.
CL I still can't understand, but we'll get there, I imagine.
Yes.
But admittedly, there's not a lot of
wife.
Yeah, sorry.
The initial trailer that Guillaume used showed a steampunk setting based on Victorian era England with more science fiction elements, including zombies and aliens. 6 months into this approach, potential investors into the project suggested that he should think bigger, leading him to reset the entire narrative, though it kept some of the characters they had already developed. The new setting was based on a painting that Broche had admired about a painter entering her own work, as well as a short story that Svedberg Yen wrote, who is Lune. Lune, yeah. My wife.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
The developers also made use of ready-made assets for background objects, such as rocks, which allows them to focus on creating hero assets. So yeah, a lot of the background assets were pre-made, ready-made assets that they grabbed from the engine.
Yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Which I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that to create everything from the ground up can be such a daunting, horrifying task.
Use the tools that you're given.
Spend time making Minoko look cool, and because we're not going to be looking at the rocks.
No,
we shouldn't be looking at the rocks.
No, even though sometimes I would get a little drunk and I'd be like, oh man, look at all this shit. Oh fuck.
The demo
I do that sober. I'm like, God damn, look at that. That ship is floating, man.
Go get up there.
Demo was shown to Kepler Interactive, a small British publisher, in September 2021. The extra funding allowed the team to jump from Unreal Engine 5 to Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5.
Smart
move. Yeah.
Yep. And then the funding allowed them to get bigger voice actors as well. Funding allowed them to turn their office into a motion capture studio.
Nice.
That's the good thing about Unreal Engine 5 is that it makes motion capture super easy.
Yeah.
You know, the technology is advanced to the point where it's like, if you've seen the behind the scenes footage, they're just in a small little bedroom, doing motion capture. It's really cool that they were able to use Unreal Engine 5 and be able to bring a lot of those characters to life.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Announced as Game Pass Day 1 release at the Xbox Game Showcase in 2024, which I think definitely helped this game.
I would say
it helped with word of mouth when everyone had a chance to play it. I mean, a lot of people played it and then bought it, but
I wanted to give them money.
Same. The physical copy now is, I think, $90.
Wow.
Yeah. Because
you can get it cheaper. I've seen it on for like $50.
Wait, this was being sold in regular old stores, right?
I pre-ordered mine off of Amazon, and I got it the day of. Obviously, it was $50 at the time, but shortly after the game hit huge stardom, you couldn't find a physical copy anywhere. So I think the price did jump up to $90. People were selling it secondhand.
And then they pretty much we should make some more of these.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing they did with the collector's edition. They did a second run of it, which, I'm anxiously waiting for my copy.
Ooh, you bought it again.
That painter's statue is super dope.
Yeah. So
I hope they sell it on its own.
Yeah.
A little guide to the French language. Clair Obscur translates directly from French to light, dark. More accurately, chiaroscuro, an Italian art theory. It references the stark interplay between illumination and shadow.
Isn't Dylan the art? Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah.
I explained all this on the
We had this whole thesis from Dylan earlier about this.
The concept of Clair Obscur originates from Renaissance and Baroque art, where artists like Caravaggio and Georges de la Tour used high contrast between light and shadow to evoke emotional intensity and draw focus.
Sure did.
Sure did.
You got that right.
Yeah, wow, that's impressive.
Wow, Brad, did you go to art school too?
Also, I'm going to go into Dylan's lane. Putain means whore or slut.
Yeah.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I think I
thought that just meant shit.
Well, the more direct translation would be fuck.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's what I thought.
But it means that's what they, instead of saying fuck, which fuck is.
They do. They go back and forth.
It's just coitus is essentially what's going to be the swear word in most languages.
Right, yeah.
Frack. Like in Battlestar Galactica.
Oh,
they say frack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
The little I saw of Battlestar Galactica.
Merde means shit. Mierda.
Yeah.
Mon ami,
I love my friend.
my friend.
My friend. Oh, God. I get so soft inside every time SK says that.
Gommage means to erase or scrub out. Ciel means sky. Lumiere means light. The cast, fantastic cast.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
We'll say the actors here, but we can gush about the different characters in a second. But we have Mael as Jennifer English. You know her as Shadowheart. Gustav is Charlie Cox. You know him from Daredevil. Lune is Kirsty Ryder. Ciel is Shayla Nix. Verso is Ben Starr. Monoko, Rich Keeble. Renoir, Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
And Esquier is Maxence Cazorla. Let's discuss some cosmology here
Oh.
about what is happening. Like, because we're gonna start at the top and then we'll go into the world.
Okay.
Painters are people that possess magical powers. The creations they paint become sentient. Their worlds are called canvases, and they can project their consciousnesses into their paintings.
Okay, so let's start out with the wider cosmology. So these are people in our world.
Well, not
Are
our
they-
world, in an alternate universe.
I was going to say the characters or the actual painters themselves.
because
painters.
there
The
is
painters,
there
okay,
is a
got it.
Paris, but this is clearly not our world.
Yeah.
Right.
This is a distorted version of Paris.
It's
well, I meant the world outside of the world in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, those are real people.
Those are, yeah, exactly. So they're basically painting wizards. Essentially, they're like godlike wizards. Is that what I'm getting out of this? This is my interpretation of what was going down.
okay.
Okay.
So they're wizards, and they're so dramatic about their little paintings that they're gods of.
Yes, and I like that you use the God word because a lot of people, I think, or I don't want to get to the ending now, but this is the God and the creation and the responsibility between creators and their creations.
Yeah.
The art and the artist.
And we're not going to discuss the ending quite yet.
Okay.
It's hard not to when you start
It
talking
really
about
is.
this stuff.
Yeah, because I found the whole thing to be extremely bleak.
They're creating
Yes.
they're creating worlds.
After Act 2, it's like, man.
And what responsibility does a god have for their creation?
Right.
Because these creations, are sentient.
Yes.
They are conscious. They are having emotions. They are having experiences. And it's
Which
in a world they created.
I can't wait till we talk about the end of Act 2 so we can talk about kind of how everything kind of turned 180.
When they create a canvas, they leave a part of their souls in those worlds. Chroma is magical energy used to create their magic both inside and outside of their canvas. And the painted world that the game takes place in is Verso's canvas, where most of it takes place. It's an alternate 19th century France.
Right.
The Descendre family, Aline and Renoir, are two painters who start a family. Aline served as head of the Painters' Council, and they created hundreds of worlds together. Renoir once got lost in his painting and had to be saved by Aline. She took him out. She then taught him how to paint safely, to soar without flying too close to the sun. He got lost in the world, and she had to pull him out. They have 3 children: Cleo, Verso, and Alicia. The painters have been engaged in a long-term conflict with the writers. That is the war happening in their real world.
Yeah.
You goddamn writers.
So now we are to believe then that there are godlike writer wizards.
I know. I like that too.
And I imagine there's like godlike musicians too, because Verso, I think in one scene where he was like, I kind of liked music a little bit more,
yeah.
which had a tiff with him and his mom. So I wonder if there's like a music guild.
You're going to be a painter.
No, I want to play music, Mom.
Put the mandolin down.
I'm going to be a rock and roll star, Mom. I'm going to invent it.
I'm going to write a song called Rocket Man.
It's going to have a whole world, and there's going to be a wine bag that talks to you.
It's going to say Mon Ami every 10 seconds.
Yeah. December 33rd, 1905.
What?
That's the timeline.
Okay.
Verso gave his life saving Alicia from a house fire.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Writers Guild is responsible for initiating the fire. While the exact method they use is not fully explained, it's suggested that somehow they gained access to the manor through Alicia's unwitting involvement.
This isn't a pen. This is a lighter. And I'm going to burn your house down.
We promise we're not going to burn your house down. Just open the door. We got pizza.
What? You got to wonder what their fucking beef is. Is it just like...
That's some serious beef.
I don't know. Maybe
Jeez.
it's just simple as a sports rivalry like Vikings Packers. Maybe they just hate each other because they're different.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that how most of the world operates?
Writing is better than painting, you dummies.
Yeah.
We're going to burn your house down.
We're going to burn all your paintings. And we're going to write a book about it.
Ludicrous horse shit.
Yeah.
All around.
But for some reason, Alicia is being at least partially blamed for what happened to the house fire. She gets partially burned, and Verso gives his life to save her. She seeks... Aline, then, the mother, seeks refuge in Verso's canvas, where she creates an immortal copy of her family in Lumiere, because part of Verso's soul is in the canvas of the painted world, so she wants to go be closer to his soul. She refuses to acknowledge what happened. She wants to go spend time with him any way she can in the painted world. Renoir...
So she's his creation in the world. Or am I jumping ahead?
She's not his creation. She is in the world. Aline
Verso
is in...
Verso is the
made
creation.
a copy of himself.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
That is not the real Verso.
I think that's what I know that's not the real Verso, but I think I was under the impression that she was his creation, but I think at the end I found out differently.
No,
Okay.
Male
We'll get there.
That is the mother.
Yeah.
Renoir then enters the canvas, determined to bring Aline out and then destroy the painted world because he wants to save her like she saved him before. His entry leads to the Fracture, an event which casts Lumiere into the ocean. This coincided with the appearance of the monolith and inaugurated the Gommage. The monolith. After the Fracture, this appeared with an enormous glowing 100 on it on the northern end of the continent.
Rad.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
On a prescribed day each year, a gigantic being known as the Paintress would awaken and change the number, counting down each year and erasing all of those that age and older in Lumiere. This is known as the Gommage. So when it reaches 99, all the 99-year-olds pass away.
Which is just
I gotta imagine
like
it's like in the
people.
beginning. Yeah, in the beginning it's like, hey, this ain't so bad.
Yeah.
And all of a
wow.
sudden you get to like the 50s, it's like, oh shit.
Once it's down to 10,
Yeah.
those kids are fucked.
Those kids are fucked.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, actually,
man.
there wouldn't be kids around then because you'd have to have eventually it would catch up to it because you need,
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
to give birth.
doing the math is hard. Like I was in the beginning, I know you try to like decipher like how old Mael is, and I think there was a line where it's like you're going to be Gommaged in 9 years, and then you're like, okay,
It's like Kip and Chun-Li at that point. She's 16.
she's 16. Yikes!
She was
you
dropped
can
off by her
tell. You can
parents.
tell she's young.
Yeah, she's young. Obviously,
So they didn't. You know, they really go to great lengths to make her super unsexual.
The little sister.
Yes. They want you to feel that way about her too.
The Gommage was first discovered in the year 85 when two pairs of 85-year-old twins were killed by it. So they didn't even notice until it reached 85 because they didn't have anyone that old living.
Oh yeah, I guess around
Yeah.
that time in the world, regular
life expectancy was like 68 or something, like 65.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's indicated that the way people die in Lumiere upon the sunset at the end of the annual day of Gommage by turning into ashes or rose petals and effectively disappearing has something to do with their chroma leaving their bodies, in particular contrast with the bodies of past expeditioners that are found on the continent who are slain by the Nevrons. Here, their chroma stays trapped in their bodies and remain in place instead of disappearing like they do in the Gommage.
Makes sense.
Sure. This makes perfect sense.
Absolutely.
Expedition Zero, the very first expedition that set out from Lumiere after the Fracture, was led by Renoir and his son Verso.
Yep.
Also in the party were Dion, Louise, Claude, Julie,
Cloud.
and
Now let's be clear.
Simon.
This is the fake Renoir and the fake Verso.
This is the real Renoir and the fake Verso.
Gotcha.
Renoir has always been real.
There's two. No, there's two Renoirs. There's
is
a
two
fake
Renoirs.
one
There's
and a
fake-
real one.
Okay, right.
It gets yeah, I know.
Yeah.
If I didn't
Okay.
make this outline, I didn't know when I played the game at all.
Okay.
I was reading this like, no shit.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I didn't realize it was the real one. I thought it was them living in that world.
There became another one at one point.
Yes.
They reached the monolith, but were stopped at the barrier by Clee, the older sister who had come in.
Who we never see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Renoir encountered his daughter and she revealed that she was Clair from the real world, and that the world they lived in was in fact a canvas created by the real Verso, who's tragically died saving the real Alicia in a house fire. She destroyed Expedition Zero. Renoir discovered that he and Verso were immortal, a gift by the Paintress to protect them from harm. On returning to Lumiere, Renoir and Verso tried to inform the people that the Paintress was no threat to them, but according to Julie's journal, they were faced with suspicion. They later rejoined Julie's party, but were betrayed outside the Forgotten Battlefield when Julie arranged for members of the team to kidnap and interrogate Verso. This is all background, journals. She had seen Verso survive a lethal wound in combat and believed his refusal to elaborate.
The scar on his face? That one?
Probably.
Okay. Because he kept it for whatever reason, he said.
And alongside Renoir's insistence that the Paintress was an ally. Don't get mad at her. Don't try and kill her. That's my lovely wife.
That's my mom.
To be proof of him being a traitor and a threat. In the aftermath, Renoir convinced Verso that Julie was a creation of Clair's and ordered her death. Verso kills Julie and implicitly the rest of Expedition Zero, but despaired over the decision.
Oh, man, that makes that story even more sad because he really... Wasn't that his love interest?
He was misled. I don't know if there were... Probably. She was also with Simon, I think.
There was like two journal entries where I think one of his biggest regrets was he kind of didn't tell Julie how he felt. Or was it Julie? I think it was. Because especially after everything's said and done, he wants to be reunited with her.
I kind of wish they had actually done flashbacks of some of these.
Especially Expedition, was it 66?
Yeah.
Those fuckers.
The hardcore mothers. Just running around naked.
I like the submarine.
Fully
ones.
jacked. Yeah.
The family, alongside Alicia, never returned to Lumiere again, and Renoir abandoned all attempts at working with the city against Clair and the Curator. Renoir resolved to safeguard Aline's happiness, devoting himself to protecting his family, the Paintress, and the world of the canvas. For the next 67 years, Renoir would seek to slaughter each and every expedition sent from Lumiere to prevent them from reaching the monolith. This led to a falling out with Verso, who would become disillusioned with his immortality. I would too. Resented being the source of struggle for the entire world. I would hate knowing that everything was happening because of me. I get that.
Yeah.
And he wished to banish Aline from the canvas before she fully succumbed to its effects. He wanted to save his mom from her grief. And it's a whole this is depressing despair of a
family
world.
Drama, yeah.
It's all bad.
Yeah. Not being able to come to terms with reality and not being able to come to terms with death in the family. And yeah.
So
it's a constant state of grief.
Here's my big question. So the Paintress is the mom.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Simon, a character that unless you did the ultimate super bosses, you won't even know about. At some point, Clair was abducted by the real Clair de Sandra, because that was a fake Clair in there as well, and trapped somewhere inside the canvas where Simon would never be able to reach her. The real Clair then used Simon's grief to manipulate him. She whispered lies into his ear that he had been chosen to restore balance. She bestowed upon him the strength to fell the Axons so that he could obtain the power necessary to break the barrier that guarded the monolith. He felled the Axon known as the Hauler in Old Lumiere and obtained its power. When approaching the monolith with the Axon's power, he was unable to break the barrier and realized he had been deceived. Broken and lost to despair, he wandered the edges of the monolith until he was approached by the Curatress. She would tell Simon that it was not yet too late and that there was a way for him to free Painted Clair, and instructed him to descend down to the monolith's depths and face the true danger, the Curator, who enacts the Gamage. Upon battling with the Curator, Simon was finding it harder and harder to resist the Curator's influence over his mind and lost, causing himself to be trapped inside the abyss and setting the Curator free.
I don't think I did this.
No, because those Simon and Clair were two optional bosses.
Those are the super bosses.
And Simon, I heard, is a super boss.
I think it's the ultimate boss.
Yeah.
All right, Painted Renoir and real Renoir. Let's fucking clarify.
Okay, all right. Let's figure out the difference.
Painted Renoir is a painted replica of the real Renoir created by Aline to complete her realized family within the canvas. He protects the Paintress because he embodies Aline's desire to preserve the canvas and the family she reconstructed within it.
So this is the first half Renoir.
This is the Renoir we actually see most of the game.
Yeah, right. Like in the trench coat and the
one on
the cane.
The one on the beach.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
The real Renoir.
That makes sense after you have the boss battle and everything. That makes sense.
The real Renoir is the Curator.
Yeah.
The one that was in our camp.
Yeah, in the last half. Wait, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right.
While initially appearing as an ally, the curator's actions and motives become more complex. He is working towards destroying the canvas, even if it means going against the desires.
That makes sense what he said now. He's like, when he looked at the curator in the face, he says, I want the same thing too.
Yeah.
God, that makes sense now. Okay, sorry.
No, I'm glad we're starting to... I had the same thing when I was reading this.
Yeah.
I actually knew that one.
Okay, all right. I
got
didn't
that.
because I still I remember at that scene where he looks at him and he's like, I want the same thing too. And I'm like, who is the curator? Okay.
The Nevrons were created by Clé de Cendre in an effort to tip the scale of Renoir's battle with Aline. She created them in the painted world. As chroma was used to help sustain painters' abilities in the canvas, Clé made it so any that were slain by Nevrons would have their chroma trapped within their bodies instead of dissipating to prevent the chroma from returning to Aline. So she created them as a way to tip the scale. Mm-hmm. And Gestrels, created by Verso, were inspired by mannequins and paintbrushes, possess a unique appearance resembling wooden puppets with paintbrush heads and a large wooden plank where a face would be.
I love Gestrels.
Oh, God, yeah. That Gestrel village, man. That was best place in the game. Yeah.
Their casual attitude towards danger is influenced by their ability to be resurrected at the sacred river as a small gestrel or patate after death. This rebirth involves chroma offerings at the sacred river and results in disorientation and partial memory loss, eventually giving them a new beginning without fully restoring their previous selves. Most enjoy combat, some hold a philosophical view of life, and some are trying to fucking run businesses and they don't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love every single one of them.
It's really interesting to consider then the painted Verso. He is essentially like Jesus in this world. It's the allegory. It can't be ignored. It's he is the son of God or his creator, and who is literally
in his own image.
In his own
exactly. And it's wild because then he's just like, no, I'm my own guy, but I am kind of him because I have most of his memories. But it's so.
And I'm going to
strange.
try and save you all.
Doom you all. In a very strange way, yes.
Well, he was on the beach when Expedition 33 landed. He was there. He was the one that saved Mael.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was like, you would completely miss it on your first playthrough. And then when you watch that scene again where they were just getting blasted on the beach.
I was too busy going, oh, man.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and I think I saw a clip where they were like, he was there at the beginning. And sure enough, I played it the second time and I see him there. Like, Gustav looks at all the destruction around him and someone comes and shields Mael. That was him.
Oh.
That was him. Yeah.
Canvas years 3 to 51. Painted Verso tries to help various expeditions, but Painted Renoir kills those who get too close. Expedition 70 reaches
with the brush stroke.
Expedition 70 reaches the monolith. They set up grapple points, but are erased by the Gamage just before reaching the summit.
Almost made it.
Expedition 69.
Giggity.
Giggity gig.
Okay.
They're known for placing the yellow substance that allows players to climb walls. Video games need to explain why there's yellow things on the walls.
But it makes sense. It makes
markers,
sense. It's the whole, like, for those that come after, like the grapple points, the grappling hook, things that you go through, like
leaving journals with all of your knowledge.
Journey. Yeah, exactly.
It's cool.
Everything has an explanation. It's not just like, oh, there's just convenient grapple points because there's yellow paint on the mountain. It makes sense in the greater context of the world.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's also not something I think about. I know video games have to video game.
But I know. I think about that because here I am thinking, how can a snowman drive a cart?
You know who doesn't need that? Donkey Kong.
Yeah, you're right.
And how does Daisy keep her thighs so creamy?
So creamy.
Lotion.
She moisturizes.
Lotion,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Lotion's got to be.
That's already been explained in the lore.
Expedition 60. Expedition 60, unlike other expeditions...
I don't know.
Unlike other expeditions, Expedition 60 did not want to rely on weapons or gear, but focused on physical training.
Hell yeah.
They believed raw human strength could beat the paintress.
Want to see me do a jumping jack paintress? Hup, hup, hup.
They even fought naked for agility. These fuckers are running around butt naked, just lifting weights like, we're going to kill you.
Dick flopping around everywhere.
Right.
Their training allowed them to reach the monolith and breach its chroma barrier using only physical strength, a feat previously unmatched.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. This success led them to the paintress. Upon reaching the paintress, they learned she was trapped and the true threat was beneath the monolith. Most members went deeper into the monolith to fight the curator, butt naked, while one member, William, was sent back to warn Lumiere. He was erased before reaching Lumiere, losing his journal. He swam back to Lumiere butt naked, trying to outrun the Gommage.
Damn.
Wow.
Fucking badass.
Hardcore.
Yes, but
I want DLC for this.
Yeah, or at least the prequel book or something. I want to know more about him.
Yeah.
They managed to breach the barrier, but were slain by Renoir. In Canvas Year 57, Alicia, Clair persuaded her younger sister to also enter the Canvas to try and end the power struggle. Upon entering the Canvas, Alicia ended up being overwhelmed by Aline's power and discorporated, being reborn as Maëlle. So Alicia wasn't in there, but the real world, it was just older sister and younger sister watching their parents for 30-some years lost in the painting.
Yeah.
So she sent Alicia in to try and save it. In Canvas Year 67, Expedition...
The older sister's a real bitch. I just remember reading a bunch of stuff in the game and going like...
Well, even
she
like her
seems
first...
evil.
Yeah. In her first, after Act 2, when she becomes a prominent figure now, and how she talks to Alicia is like, man, who the f*** are you?
It's hard to cast aspersions when you have two parents that have been lost in a painting for 30 years. The mental health of this family is kind of all over the place.
I totally sympathize with Clair because she's the one that actually makes the most sense out of everybody.
So are painters and writers and these creators, are they functionally immortal outside of the painting?
I would know.
No, because they age.
I would think not.
I guess so.
And I would say, I don't know if Renoir has aged since he went in there, but it seems like he's aging inside of it too, perhaps.
He does.
I don't know.
I don't know. Verso hasn't aged, and he was in the first expedition.
Right.
Yeah, I guess maybe the painted creations don't age.
No, that's true.
Okay. Well, they do because then they get erased. So they age. That's literally the whole point of the game is that you age.
The painted versions of the family, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. They were made to be immortal, and the rest
they were made by a
background.
painter to maybe be immortal.
Because in that case, Verso
Right.
would have been like 80 or something, like at the time Expedition 33 came around.
Yeah.
Canvas Year 67, Expedition 33 launches to confront the Paintress and the Gommage.
Clair, obscur, trouble de rature, courera et fait. Clair, obscur, gloire des hauts peintures, trouvera sans elle. Clair, obscur, trouble de rature, trouvera et fait. Clair, obscur, gloire des hauts peintures, trouvera sans elle.
The game then begins.
It's true.
It's true.
Pretty solid prologue.
Can I shout out the expedition that said, "Yeah, cars. Let's bring cars."
They brought cars?
Yeah, there's an expedition that was all about like vehicles.
I like
Oh,
that.
I don't know.
There's I believe it. I don't remember what map it's on, but there's like this little kind of courtyard area in the woods where it's just a bunch of like heaped up like old cars and a couple corpses.
They were trying everything.
Yeah.
I explored every inch of every map that I could.
I think I missed that part. Huh.
Yeah, there's some good shit there too. I think
Yeah.
there's nice pictos.
There is also a lot more information about expeditions I didn't put in here because it was already getting kind of long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so-
So there's like over.
I just wanted
40
to shout out like, oh, look at all this rough terrain. Let's take a Model T.
No shocks, no springs, nothing.
Putt-putts everywhere.
Yeah.
Is this the most confident prologue in a game?
Oh, you don't know what's going on. You have no idea. They establish everything so quickly.
Yeah.
And they do it pretty masterfully. I would say if this was a pilot of a TV show, it might be the best I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. It might even be as good as Cheers.
How did
Yeah.
the prologue? You just meet these characters,
Yeah.
and when the Gommage starts, I'm like profoundly sad.
Yeah.
I cried.
How
I
did
cried.
The fact
I
that they managed to do that.
I cried
is
twice.
Insanity.
The second time when I played it.
Oh my God, it's rough.
Yeah, because you know, obviously you hear about the Gommage, you hear it for some reason, like, oh yeah, everybody dies once that number changes, okay, whatever. And then you start to talk to the people, and I think that's what kind of makes it hit hard because you start to talk to the people and the impacts people have. Like there was the woman that you talk to that goes after Sophie for not having children of her own, and it's like you kind of see the parallel where
Fuck
Sophie's
that
like,
lady.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, who the fuck are you? And she's like, why would I want to bring a child into a world like this?
A world that's so inevitably doomed.
Yeah, and it would be
a child
selfish,
who's only going to live till age 15 max.
if that. Yeah,
Ciel has the most heartbreaking child story when she says later on, she's like, I realized one day the best thing I could do for my children was to not have them.
yeah.
I'm like, God damn,
Jeez, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there was like the other scene where like you talk to the father who had an argument with his son the day before and now he's being gommaged. Like you hear these like other like side character stories that it's like you're never going to see these people again, but it really builds to obviously the inevitable, like what happens at the end of the prologue that, man, this sucks.
We meet Gustav.
The two kids in the gastro masks hugging. Oh, that hit.
Gustav is the main character. He won't die right away.
Not right away.
Not right away.
Gustav is pretty standard protagonist.
He's pretty interesting. I think that he kind of represents a more realistic, grounded take on what someone who's like obsessed with getting this done, but doesn't quite have the mental capacity in terms of like emotional strength
and no
to
confidence.
do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, we see that after they land and kind of
Everyone
his thought
dies,
processes afterwards and everything. I think even like Gustav and Sophie's story, because Sophie, he meets up with his ex-girlfriend at the time who is going to be gommaged. And I thought that was kind of like a good representation of regret and kind of finding out that there could be a point where it's too late.
And it's a love that was lost, but also the only love she'll know because she's going to die.
Yeah.
It's like a weird thing.
It really is. And
Like, what do you say to an ex if you know they're about to die?
And not very many people have that opportunity. And I think I went into like a whole philosophical ramble in my head about like, you don't know how much time you have with the people in your life until all of a sudden they're gone.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is a moment where it's like Gustav actually had that time.
And he knows.
Granted,
he knows
yeah,
it's coming. He has
exactly.
like, say what you want.
Yeah. And granted, it was awkward at first, but I think he was at the very least grateful that he got that time because
It's very strange. Where did she go? I mean, it's a big city. It's explained she traveled away or something.
yeah, and he got lost in his work building the Lumiere engine or
The Lumina converter.
The Lumina converter, that was it, yeah.
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 He's a skilled engineer, dedicated his life to defense and agricultural systems, created the Lumina converter, a device that allows them to utilize chroma and pictos. That's all because of that creation. Mm-hmm. And he has the overcharge mechanic, which revolves around the overcharge ability, where he builds up charges by attacking, dodging, parrying, and building skills. Once he reaches 10 charges, he can unleash a devastating overcharge attack.
Devastating.
Limit
dealing
breaks.
massive damage. Essentially, it's like the most basic of all the characters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Build up a charge, and you're stronger when you release the charge.
When you guys first saw his skill tree, were you like, oh, there's got to be a point in the story where this all unlocks?
We're gonna learn something.
I thought that too.
He's gonna turn into a werewolf and get
He's going
werewolf
to
skills.
something cool.
Yeah, I thought that too.
A werehog.
He's going to have a gestural he rides or some shit. Who knows? And then we quickly meet Mael, the youngest member at the age of 16, a proficient fencer, excelling in parrying and switching between stances. Battle stances are her main mechanic. Defensive stance will reduce damage received and grants 1 AP on successful parries and dodges. Offensive stance increases damages dealt, but also increases damage taken. Mm-hmm. And the virtuose stance, which is what you want, deals even more damage with no relevant downside. Various skills will switch between stances. She cannot remain in the same stance for 2 turns in a row unless a specific ability allows it. If she doesn't switch stances, she becomes stanceless, losing any bonuses.
I love using Mael.
She became a fucking powerhouse.
Yeah, she became one of my mains
At first, I didn't
90% of the time.
I didn't really understand how the stances really worked, but then as you start unlocking more of that tree, you're like, oh, so this one really only interacts with this one, and I should use it in this order. It's like pulling off a dance. It's kind of cool.
Fire. She
Fencing.
became fire.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
me. And
Basically.
just stacking burns
Yeah.
and stacking burns.
Burns, yes.
Yeah.
Burn, baby, burn.
And then if you have Lune, you can get that stack up to 30.
And if you have Lune, you can get the enemy burning before Mael's turn, so he
Yep.
immediately goes into virtuose stance.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
There's a delicate interplay between all of the different characters' mechanics, and knowing how they help each other is so fun.
Easy to learn, hard to master.
Yeah.
Correct.
And also hard to learn for
Hard to
Lune
learn
and CL.
Yeah. CL is still...
I still get confused.
I get confused with CL. I figured it out at the end, and then she became a powerhouse once I figured out the whole light and dark mechanic.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Even when I was using CL, I was effective. I didn't know what I was doing, though.
Mm-hmm. She's a tank, though. She's got a ton of HP, though.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
A ton of HP.
She's more about crowd control above
Yeah.
anything. I don't really see her as like a boss killer, but you know.
Yes, turn-based battles, pretty straightforward. Yeah, you can do free aim. That's a unique thing where you have a chance to shoot enemies.
I love this.
Yeah.
It takes one of
Shooting
your turn
weak
points.
Yeah.
But you can like shoot a weak point, immobilize the enemy, or like cause elemental damage. Gradient attacks are powerful ultimate moves unlocked by building gradient charge later on. Otherwise, it's action points, skills, and kind of a standard turn-based battle. You get to see turn order, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's actually really helpful.
Yeah.
But the free aim stuff, I found it so interesting that you could go into a mode where you could aim and fire. And to then have bosses with specific hitboxes to kind of, change the situation. Like when you're in that gestural forest, and I didn't realize that I should have been like sniping off like the shield bearers' shields. It's just so cool.
Yeah, that took me a while because there's that big tank with the big shield.
Yep.
And he is just a monster. He destroys you. Once you take off that shoulder shield and like incapacitate that arm, man, it makes that boss fight so much easier.
You can't do his smash move.
It took me a long time to figure that out.
And once you start being able to have pictos that can associate status effects with your free aiming, but it's like 25% chance to inflict burn. All right, I want burn before my L's turn. I'm going to take 2, 3, 4 shots, but eventually it happens. And then do I sacrifice a turn here? But I really want this character to get to virtuoso stance or this character to have that.
It's really funny that I'm playing Bravely Default now. Again,
are you seeing similarities?
There's a huge similarity using those AP points and then going negative, and then it's just so cool.
Chrono Cross was kind of like that too, but
a little bit. Yeah,
that's where Lune comes into effect. So if you inflict like Ice Storm or something like that, and they get into an ice effect, then you use a specific ice Pictos or ice magic, whatever, and then it inflicts this ability on them that if you use fire right after that, it causes like extreme amount of damage. That took me a while to understand too, because I know they explain it right in the beginning, but it flies over your head because you're just like, this is a turn-based game. I don't need to learn this shit.
But
you find out how important it is and how quickly these battles can go through. Like if you actually know how to stack and know how to,
I killed the Paintress in probably 5 shots.
Damn.
Yeah.
You were overpowered.
Clearly.
Oh, I like to explore.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
I love the pacing of not exploring and having incredibly difficult battles. It really worked because
I do regret it.
I didn't do side stuff this game.
Yeah.
Which is rare for me.
That's what Act 3 is. Act 3 is like you're just mopping up all side quests.
But there's other ones.
Yeah.
Not a ton. Definitely they open up for Act 3.
Yeah.
But I've reached the age now where I'm like, nope. I don't have time. I don't have time. I'm working. I'm a homeowner. I don't have time to do anything.
A lot of the time I will. It depends on how hard the game hooked me. There are some video games where even at a point with Death Stranding 2, as much as I love it, I was just like, okay, let's finish this.
Fuck the lone commander. I'm tired of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he never gets me to 5 stars.
This is the third or fourth mention of Death Stranding 2 in this podcast.
Sorry,
we got 7 more.
Sorry, I picked up your booze from 50 miles away and I brought it to you. 10 likes.
10 likes.
Get bent.
Dodging and parrying. Enemies will telegraph their attacks with visual and sometimes auditory clues.
Don't forget jumping.
And they'll fake punch 1,000 times before they
the
punch.
Gestro Boxer?
Yeah.
Dude.
The merchants
yeah.
have some weird
Where the
fake
one that
outs.
kind of like gives you a fake out and then like follows it up.
I always fall for it.
I always fall for it too. I was like, I got you this time. And then he's like, bam, knocks me out 1 hit. I'm like, fuck.
Jumping. Some enemies do require jumping to avoid. And then you
like
can
the
counterattack from mid-air.
So satisfying.
It looks so cool.
Yeah.
Catches you off guard.
It really
Every
does.
time when an enemy introduces it, and then you're ready. But like the first time, I'm never ready the first time an enemy does it.
Especially if it's a boss who you weren't expecting to use it. Yeah.
Well, because like some of them will throw combos at you, so you'll parry, and then all of a sudden they'll like jump and do like a ground pound, and then it's like you're thinking you're gonna parry again, and then it's like, oh crap, I gotta
parry that.
You can't parry that.
It's very funny that they introduced jumping so late into the game. I guess they
do it fairly early.
Did they?
I would say halfway through.
I thought it was earlier.
I thought it was
than that.
halfway.
Yeah.
I thought it was Act 1.
No, it was Act 2 where they introduced jumping because.
I swear it was.
I would declare shenanigans on you too. I'm that confident.
Oh, okay.
I'm
going
either way, though,
I'm
jumping,
doubling down.
I'm going to declare Obscure. You are dumb.
Declare.
I'm going to Clair.
I can't undo that. I've been declare obscured. Enemies can shield themselves, and that's when free aiming helps out too. If there's 6 shields, one enemy can just shoot 6 shields away, and then the next person can attack.
Yeah, that's important. The shielding is rough.
There's the enemy with the long staff that like stabs themselves and like increases their shield.
Yep.
God, they can stack like if you're not like on them, like
they kind of
can
look
stack
like
10
gargoyles,
shields.
right?
Yeah, because they do this like sweeping maneuver where it's like they sweep the whole party twice, and then does a ground pound.
Yep.
And
brutal.
Easy boss to battle, but it takes long unless you're on them with that shield.
Yep.
We embark on the expedition and promptly get almost the entire party killed.
I love that opening.
Shout out to Lucien. Lucien saved Gustav's ass right in the beginning there.
I don't even remember.
He is the true hero of the story.
Yeah.
Because like Gustav was like in shock. You know, everyone's dying around him.
Yeah.
He's about ready to get his shit pushed in by the monster with the hands. What was that?
So many cool.
And Lucien comes in and just like saves his life, and he's like, "You got to get out of here." And then, of course, naturally, he gets
Wiped.
smashed. Yeah,
true hero.
Yeah, true hero. He's the hero of the story, hands down. Fight me on that.
Well, Gustav arguably is the one of the most important members of the expedition because of his engineering abilities.
Yeah.
He created the whole system that they're using.
They all have their purposes,
their role. Yeah.
And
Male's kind of a scout.
And Lune and Ciel were both responsible for defeating Axons. So like without those characters or those different Axons, they wouldn't have been able to win.
Right.
Lune, so the party gets fucking destroyed. And then Gustav's sitting there like, well, I'm going to die. I'm just going to sit here and be depressed and I don't care anymore. And
he tries to commit suicide.
Puts a gun to his head, yeah.
And Lune comes in. She's like, "Oh, I thought this was about the moving forward and helping people." It's like, what is the saying?
The first thing she says is
for those who
come after.
Yeah.
And she's like, "When one falls, we continue. Not if, when."
Yep.
That scene in the camp. Can't wait till we get to that point.
Lune's parents were renowned scholars who dedicated their lives to understanding the canvas world and its mysteries. Her parents' expedition a year prior failed, leaving Lune with a profound desire to complete their work and unravel the mystery of the paintress. She is entrusted with charting the expedition's path, having meticulously studied the records and findings of previous expeditions. She has elemental stains. She generates 1 of 5 stains each time she uses a skill of the corresponding element. These generated stains are stored on her weapon and can be consumed by other skills to trigger various effects, such as increased damage, extra hits, or reduced AP costs. The stain system, you need to plan her skill usage to generate and to get to the skills you want to use. You have to be cognizant of, I'm trying to build up to this, and I require these stains to properly use her.
And then you can unleash it all in one attack, because you got the diamond. Yep. And if you compound like 4 stains at once, you can unleash that in one kind of like the overdrive attack.
I kept finding myself switching up her battle tactics a lot because she's got like healing magic, so she's kind of like the sage of the group.
Yeah.
And then you have like your basic like of the how many elements? It's lightning, fire, and earth,
fire,
earth, and
fire, ice, earth, lightning, and light. The 5.
And it's just there's so much you can do with her that you can make any boss battle easy as long as you're paying attention to what you need. Because there are bosses that hit really hard, so you need that healing, and then you can do damage based off of healing. I can't remember what that skill is. I'm 2 months out of playing this game.
I think Gustav And Verso had this attack where it's like if you attack them while they're burning, you gain HP.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, to me, she was just a healer. She was like constantly healing, and she would be constantly making sure after I missed one dodge, I didn't die the next round.
Right? Yeah.
So she would have like a heal all that I kind of just, she used probably 60% of the turns. She was just healing people so the other people could keep doing damage.
I don't really know because I didn't really have a healer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't use healing as much as I thought I would.
I thought I'd be using it all the time.
Yeah, me too. I was using the potions in between battles a lot because thankfully the checkpoint system is quick, like in quick succession to each other, so you can at least rest frequently, and then even if you use those potions like in between battles and stuff, like you're not going to run out.
But yeah, finding the flags, they seem to be perfectly
spaced out. Yeah,
which is always a problem in because these are essentially bonfires from Dark Souls.
Yeah,
or I guess what's it in Elden Ring now?
Sites of Grace.
Sorry, I was being a grandpa there for a minute.
You're so old.
I'm so old.
Guys, remember Dark Souls?
You guys remember Dark Souls?
It was inspired by Elden Ring.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. Wow.
But it's cool. Then the enemies, it makes grinding really easy.
Yeah, as long as you can just keep going back, it respawns enemies.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if there's an enemy close by, you want to just master their attacks.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I would use it for. It's like, okay, I'm not good with dodging, not good with parrying, so I'm going to keep respawning these enemies and keep practicing.
I think I made most of my characters. I found out pretty quick which stat they're supposed to. You're supposed to be boosting with them pretty quick.
Well, and this all comes down to the weapons you have too,
Which it tells you.
Yeah.
It shows you the weapon you're equipped and what its primary status
with.
effect is.
Yeah.
So, like, if you have a weapon that was like, admittedly, I threw like 0 points into luck because it's like I want might, I want vitality, maybe a little bit of defense, but like luck, I was not throwing as many points in as possible. But it's super important that I found out in the end for those critical hits because that can mean the difference between you're getting your ass kicked or you kicking ass.
Yeah, luck is the most elusive of all video game stats because some video games it is incredibly crucial, and other video games it is completely useless.
Yeah.
Well, a crit rate is important, especially when I made a machine gun verso, which I found out is what they're calling it on Reddit.
Yeah,
machine gun verso.
Where you can do like 100 shots because
I can just do it, and then I constantly build up like what does he have? It's inspiration or. What is his gauge?
I will get
the
to
grades.
Yeah,
gradients.
No. I think it might be inspiration, but
I don't know. I forget.
But I was taking down bosses just first. So I could have done it solo and used those pictos.
When you unlock the picto, that gives you a second chance. There was that. I think I talked about that where there was that one ability where it's like you do like 200,000 damage and then. But only if you like wait a turn after you enable the ability, and man, you're just wiping people with that ability.
Oh yeah,
yep. So you meet up with Lune. We're not going to go into every area. We're going to hit the major plot points here.
Yeah.
Camping, you can rest and recover. There's character relationships you can build. You're going to want to check in with your party members there.
It's necessary. I would argue.
Yeah, 100%.
And resource management and upgrades. You'll meet the curator at the manor.
Yeah.
The manor is a mysterious mansion that you get drawn into. It's within the canvas world. It's a reflection of the actual Desandra mansion, likely created by Verso and possibly Clea when they first developed this painted reality. It serves as a point of reference and a safe haven for the painters who enter the canvases.
Just saying, it's a nice place for an artist to live. A large manor. Mm-hmm. They were making good money back then, probably.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you can create literal worlds with your painting, I assume you'd be rich.
Probably.
It's where the player first encounters a curator. He uses the manor as a base and had previously rescued Mael and kept her safe there. Mm-hmm. And that's going to wrap up part 1 of our discussion here today on Expedition 33. For instant access to part 2, please go to patreon.com/hairthedogcast. You'll get access to the episode right away, as well as access to a bunch of other bonus episodes of Popcorn Dogs, Raw Dogs, and Elden Dogs. Special thanks to patron executive producers Brian Ward, Ryan Christianick, Kip Kipper, Phil Wright, Jordan Hoff, Kelly Gutowski, Bryant Ross, Phil, Just Red Bear Phil, thanks Tyler, Justin Melly, Just Sonic, Horny Jim, Spetsnaz, and Ejot. Thank you all so much for your support, and we'll see you next time here on